Hello everyone, welcome to day 51 of Learning Data Science. And till now, we have covered with Python module. EDA is also completed. And in data pre-processing, we have discussed about the three techniques in outlier treatment or outlier analysis. We have discussed about 3R techniques. We discussed about vinsorization. We discussed about trimming. Okay. So I want you guys to just comment it on the comment section that what do you mean by 3R technique? Okay. In 3R technique, basically the term 3R represents the first R as retain, rectify, remove. So basically these are the three R's. First R stands for retain, then second R rectify, then remove. Okay. So I want you to comment it on the comment section. What do you mean by these particular terms? Again, what do you mean by vinsorization? Yesterday we have discussed about vinsorization. So I will be explaining in short, like in vinsorization, in short, what we are doing, the outliers. Whenever we are seeing the outliers, for example, what plot is best suitable for identification of outliers? Okay, obviously it's the box plot. We can see the outliers with the help of histogram, with the help of scatter plot as well. Okay. But the thing is, identification of outliers for this particular graph are the secondary purpose. Okay. The primary purpose of histogram is to identify the shape of the distribution. Whereas the primary purpose of scatter plot is to identify the linearity, which is slope, strength, which is correlation, and three things are there. Okay. The third thing I want you to comment because I will not just tell everything and you will just listen it unless obviously you have to revise, you have to work, right? So the first thing I said, it's about strength, which is correlation. Second thing is linearity, how it's correlated with each other. And correlated means the R value. What will be the R value? Okay. So that is again a strength. And the third thing, you have to write it on the comment section. Now we were discussing about box plot. So the primary purpose of box plot was identification of outliers. Okay, right. So in outliers, whenever we are having an outlier below the minimum threshold, the minimum value below the outliers are. So what we will do? We will execute, we will replace those outliers with the 5% of data. Okay. And if the outliers are above the maximum values, the maximum threshold, then what we will do? We will update those outliers with the 95% of the data. What we are doing? 0 to 95 is there. Yesterday I have told about those standardization, those bell-shaped graph, how it's look like the box plot from here, from here to here, from here to here, it's 0 to 95%. Okay. 0 to 95% is there from here to here. But if we will switch from here, 0 to 100% is there. Here from 5 to 95% is there, right? Here 0 to 5 and here 95 to 100. So if the outliers is below this, then we will execute with this 5% values. And if the outliers is above this, then we will execute with this 5% of values, right? So we have discussed all things yesterday itself. Now I will just explain it in a shorter way. Okay. So you will get to understand basically what is there. Okay. So for example, this is my box plot. Okay. This is my box plot. This is Q1. This is Q2. Why I am writing it theta. Okay. So this is basically Q2 and this is Q3. And this is my maximum threshold and this is my minimum threshold. And from here, from here till here. Okay. What is the data? What is the data from here to here? The data is 95% of data is there. Okay. 95% of data, basically 90% of data is there. My bad. 90% of data is there. How it's 90%? I will just explain it now. This is my 0. Okay. This is my 5. This is my 25. This is my 50. This is my 75. This is my 95. And this is my 100. Okay. So let's assume, okay, let's assume I am having outliers here. Okay, here are my outliers. If you will see a bubble, then obviously you will certainly know that these are the outliers. Okay, I'm having outliers here. Then what I will do? Then what I will do? I will replace, I will replace this with, I will replace this with 5% of values, 5% of data, with 5% of my data. And what is those 5%? You can see from 0 to 5. Okay, from here. Okay, these these data I will replace it with. If my outliers is this here, Okay. I will replace this with my 5% of data. So for example, if say my outliers are here. Okay. If my outliers are here, if my outliers are here, so what I will do? I will I will replace these I will replace this with 5% of data. Okay. Again, which 5% of data? Okay. This particularly, this 5% of data with this 5% of data. Okay. With this 5% of data. Again, what is this data? This 5% of data, what is there? It is from 95 to 100. 95 to 100. Basically, it is this. And what is this percent, 5%? It is from 0 till 5. 0 to 5, which is ultimately this. Okay. Which is ultimately this itself. Okay? Which is ultimately this. So this is basically the concept of vinsorization, which we have discussed it yesterday. Okay. We have discussed also trimming. So what do you understand by trimming? In trimming, we will not replace these values. We will trim the values. By the word itself, you can understand that trimming means we are trimming the value. We are replacing shortening the data. We are removing these values. Okay. So in trimming, we remove these values. Again, which values we are removing it? We are removing these values. we are removing these values. The data, 5% above it, all of it. We are removing the data. Okay, from here, from here, we are removing these values. Every values. Okay, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. We are removing these values. We are removing this value, this data. So only data left out will be here, removing these values. So only data left will be from, come on, I want you guys to answer it. What will be the only data left? Yes, you are right. From 5%, from 5% to 95%. The rest of the data we have trimmed it. We have removed it if there are outliers. So I hope you have understood this concept of trimming and winsorization. Okay. So today we are going to discuss more things. Okay. We are going to discuss about masking. So what do you basically mean by masking? Okay. What do you understand by masking? So it means if the outliers exist, but we fail to detect those, then we call it as masking. It is also called as false negative. Okay. And the another term, another thing, which is swamping. So what do you understand by swamping? If we are detecting non-outliers as outliers, then we call it as swamping. It is also called as false positive. Okay. So basically, these are all the terms you should understand. Okay. So this was my fourth point. This was my fifth point. Okay. And my third point was framing. Okay. My third point was streaming. My second point was vinsorization. My second point was vinsorization. And my first point was 3R technique. 3R technique. Okay. And these all together, it's known as outliers, outliers treatment. Outliers treatment or analysis. So what are the 5 points in outliers analysis or treatment? First is 3R technique, then vinsorization, trimming, masking, and swamping. Okay. So these were the techniques. Now, how we can identify find techniques of outliers. Okay. Identification techniques of detecting outliers. Okay. So what are the identification techniques? So the very first technique which we will discuss is first is identification outliers using standard deviation approach. So basically this is the first. Okay. And what is the second approach? Identification of outliers using IQR method. Okay. And what is the third method? Identifying outliers using automatic outlier detection, which is auto clear. Okay. So these are the three techniques. These are the three techniques. These are the three techniques, which is first, this is second, this is third. So these techniques are there. Standard deviation approach. You know what is standard deviation approach? It's under root of xi. Sorry, my bad. It will be first sigma, sigma, then xi minus mu, mu whole square. Okay, divided by n minus 1. So basically, this was the formula for standard deviation when we were taking the sample data. Okay. And IQR, what do you mean by IQR? I've explained it. It is IQR means whenever the outliers is in minimum, so it will be Q1 minus 1.5 times of minimum and Q3 plus 1.5 times of maximum. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. What's the meaning of IQR as well? Okay. So we will be stopping here. Okay. You can take the screenshot. We'll be stopping here, and tomorrow we will start with the data frames, and I will explain these terms using the syntax, the code. Okay. I hope you have taken the screenshot till now. Take the screenshot of this as well. Okay. And take the screenshot of this. So see you tomorrow then. Till then, keep practicing. Goodbye.